We just released UbiOps 2.29 to our SaaS. In this video, I'll give you a quick overview of what you can expect from this release. First thing I want to talk about is port forwarding. This is a new functionality that's still in beta, so if you want access to it, do let us know. So what can you do with port forwarding? It allows you to open up a port on your deployment instance to a public port that you can actually access. So this allows you to run things like Jupyter directly on the deployment instance in UbiOps. Or it allows you to establish SSH connections to a running deployment instance, which could give you more tools for debugging. Let me actually show you how these two cases would work. So I've got a deployment prepared here that actually spins up a Jupyter environment directly on the instance. So how this works is from within my deployment code, I actually spawn the Jupyter process for the code. Please check the link in the description and our release notes for a full tutorial. And the other things I changed are inside the deployment settings. So port forwarding only works with dedicated instances. So you can also see that I'm using a dedicated instance. So if you want to use port forwarding for deployment, do make sure that you pick a dedicated instance type from the instance type dropdown. And then the second thing I changed is in the port forwarding section. You can find this also in the advanced section of the deployment edit form. And here you can specify which deployment port should be opened up to which public port. In this case, Jupyter always runs on 8888, so that's the one that I use. I also set my minimum number of instances to 1 to make sure that this node is actually running. So now when I click Save, I can actually check out this Jupyter environment that's running now on this 4K instance. So if I create a request to it, I'll get a URL back at which I can actually access this Jupyter environment. So let me copy that and then paste it in my browser and show you how this works. I can just paste this in. And this is now spinning up a Jupyter environment. And this is running directly on the instance. So this is not running on my local laptop. And in here, I've basically got a full IDE now that I can work with. So I can create a new notebook. And I can use this for experimentation and development to try and develop code to run on this instance before I actually package everything up inside a deployment package. So in here, I can run things like, hello. Nope, I made a mistake. There we go. And it's also possible to install packages directly in here. So if I want pandas, I can just install that from here and really work with it as if it's a local development environment, but then it's running directly on the instance. So please use this if you need a little bit more iteration speed while developing and you don't have access to a development environment locally. It's also possible to use this functionality for establishing the SSH connection. For a full tutorial on that and a tutorial on how to exactly replicate the Jupyter deployment that I just made, please have a look at the release notes for full tutorials and all the details on how this works.